and Army coach Jeff Monken. Coach, 49-7 win. You must have been concerned early on when Tulsa got the 75-yard, 16-play drive early to tie the score at 7-0.
Yeah, it was, and frankly, we hadn't kind of been in that situation all year. And we had some plays on that drive that felt like we could have made. We weren't positioned where we needed to be. Missed some tackles, and credit to them. It was a really good sustained drive. When we got the score before halftime, that was huge for us to stretch the lead 2 scores and know that we were getting the ball to start the second half. So that was a little bit of a breather for us. But I wasn't particularly pleased with the way we had played overall, just all 3 phases in the first half. And so we were able to make some adjustments in halftime. And I thought we really did a better job in the second half in every phase. And so I was proud of our team and certainly proud of the coaches making their adjustments.
And after that score by Tulsa, you get the ball back and you have to punt, but your defense made a stop on a 4th and 10. And it seemed like after that you went in, Bryson scored, you got a couple of passes to Noah Shore and Hayden Reed, and you got back in control of the game 14-7. And then how did you feel at that point?
Well, it was apparent from the start. They accepted the opening kickoff. They wanted to make sure they got that possession, which makes sense because we had been controlling the clock against a lot of the other people we were playing. They went for it early on 4th down, so they were I think anticipating limited possessions, and so I don't know that it was surprising in that particular spot to go for it on 4th and 10, but we were able to make some plays in the second half. In the first half, I looked at the halftime stats. They had the ball for 20 minutes and some change. We had it for 9 minutes and some change. It's usually the other way around. And they had been doing a really good job on 3rd down. They were 6 of 11 on 3rd down at halftime and 1 of 3 on 4th down. So 7 times when they got it to 3rd down, they were able to turn the sticks, and that percentage is not good enough. So it's a lot better when you look at it in the second half that they ended up 8 of 17 on 3rd down. So did a much better job in the second half on those conversion downs. So they went for it on 4th a couple of times, and we were able to get them off the field. So proud of the defense, proud of the adjustments they made, and how much better we played the called quarterback runs. And nice job by Anna knocking that ball down on 4th down. That's a play that he missed in the first half.
And Tulsa played 2 quarterbacks on Kirk Francis generally on passing plays and Cooper Legas when they were running the ball. Did you anticipate that? How did you react when you see a team doing 2 quarterbacks?
I think they had a plan for those 2 guys, and obviously they were doing some different things with the 2 of those players. And as the game kind of wore on, we got a little bit more into a groove of here's the things they're doing with number 11, and here's the things they're doing with number 5. And there was a lot more quarterback run with number 5, but it wasn't. They weren't completely void of quarterback run with number 11. So, give them credit. They changed it up enough and kind of kept us on our toes. But I'm proud of the way the guys played in the second half. Just overall, just the improvement that I thought we made from the first half to the second half, and that's just indicative of the score and how well we did, obviously defending them in the second half.
And as you said, in the second half, you get the opening kick, and Kanyudo runs 61 yards, and then you get the ball back and you run 63 yards. I understand it was the same play. What made those plays work?
He got some good blocks, and I frankly didn't know if Kanye was fast enough to outrun guys in the secondary. There were secondary players chasing him, and he was able to outrun them. So that was really great to see. All last year, as good a year as he has as a freshman, I just kept waiting for him to pop out of there on his own. We're going to pop one of these zone plays, and Kanye's going to take it the distance, and we just never did that a year ago. And today, back-to-back drives, he did that. So he's a good player. he's a talented football player, runs the ball really hard. He's tough to tackle, and I was glad to see him get those 2 long runs. Really proud of him for being able to outrun those guys.
And you mentioned on defense, Anna Thomas, 10 tackles, Caleb Fortner, 8, the 2 inside linebackers, 18 tackles. You held Tulsa to 268 yards. And how do you feel like the defense is growing? Is it just they're getting better with each game?
I hope so. Nate does a really good job. We got a good defensive staff, but Nate Woody, our coordinator, does a tremendous job of getting those guys positioned. And we don't make all the plays. We missed some tackles, and we were out of position a couple times on some pass plays. And their touchdown, we didn't fit that very well. We should have an edge to the defense, and we didn't. And sometimes it's a corner or an outside linebacker or a defensive end, or sometimes it's an inside linebacker that's got to get out there on the edge. And so there was some times where we didn't position ourselves where we needed to be. But credit to the defensive staff when they talked to the guys at halftime. They got them settled down and got them positioned where they need to be, and we played better in the second half.
And I want to mention David Crossan on that block he made at the end of the first half on the pass play to Noah Short, that he made it into a touchdown by the block he made downfield.
So it was a play action pass, and Noah was the action back and ran a wheel route, and essentially nobody covered it. They covered the guys running the vertical routes, and David was one of those. And the ball got thrown, and he probably just kind of felt the guy trying to fight through him, and he had enough awareness to know that the ball was behind him at that point, and he just did a terrific job of latching on. It's the reason we scored. We don't score without that block, and I'm really happy for him. It was a big play in the game, and often that gets overlooked. There's no statistic for it, but Noah Short doesn't score there if he doesn't get a block from Cross, and so happy to see him do a good job of supporting our team and supporting the victory.
Coach, you often talk about how hard it is to win a football game. Now you've won 3 road games this year, which is always tough to do. Now you go home. How do you feel about the team, how the team is at this point in the season?
I think the guys are playing hard. They're playing together. They're well led. We've got some really good captains. We've got good leadership in that locker room, and they trust and believe in each other. And there's a sense of urgency in this group, which I think is positive for the football team, and I hope it'll last. It's hard to win a football game, so it'll be hard to win next week. We got to get ready for that one, and hopefully we'll play well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Ken.
Anything to add? Please, James, Answer Football, how you doing, Coach?
Very well.
So 2 questions. Number one, going to the half, you got 72 rushing yards. Came out second half, 250. Was that a change in execution? Was that taking what Tulsa was giving you guys on defense? What was the change in light of that?
They lined up in a defensive front that we didn't anticipate. Now we practiced against that front, and we have enough plays that fit depending on what the front is that we can block the plays. It's not like, oh my God, we got to go draw up new plays. But they were so intent on stopping the run, and we were intent on running the football, that there just came a point where we just said, okay, we're going to have to throw it. And so I don't know what our throwing yards were in the first half, but we made some big plays in the passing game, which should soften up the defense and allow us to be able to have a thinner box, fewer guys in there cramming their nose in when we run plays. And as it turned out, I mean, they continue to play the run. That's why we're able to still hit play action passes in the second half. And we can run our head into a wall, but I wasn't really interested in punting if we could keep from doing that. So yeah, the run numbers were down in the first half. Perhaps the passing maybe softened them up a little bit. And I think Coach Worley did a good job once we got in here at halftime and kind of talked through what we were getting. There's a couple plays we ran in the second half that we didn't run in the first, and those helped us. So, yeah, it's better running football in the second half.
And second question, so 5 games in now, 2 of the new rule changes this year. You have the tablets, and you have the in-game in-helmet headset. How have you seen those affect, a triple option offense uniquely?
I think we often see, what we can't anticipate always is how defensively the other team is going to line up to structurally, and then what they'll do from a scheme standpoint out of the structure to stop us. And Temple's a perfect example. Last week, we anticipated an even front, we got an odd front. And so you can go right over to the sideline, pull up the iPad, show them how they're aligned, and you can draw on them, and you can see everything that's happening, how they're reacting to certain motions or any play that we run, with that action, what their response is to it. So I think it's incredibly helpful for us because oftentimes we're just rolling the dice on what defensive front we're going to get, and if it's one that we're getting that we haven't gotten a lot of work in on that week, that we can kind of have a chalk talk right on the sideline to get our guys up to speed. I welcome it. I think it's really good technology. I'm glad they finally allowed us to do it.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.